trying this again. This is about the third time. Actually, since I've updated my my phone, I've been actually having problems doing live recordings. It's not going as well. But anyway, that being said, my name's Dr. Wendy Dearborn from the Laws of Attraction in Action, and you can find me right here on Facebook in the Laws of Attraction in Action, the group and the page. So what I'm going to talk about today is actually flipping your internal dialogue so you can stay focused on what it is that you want. Let me just say this. I've actually done a little worksheet to assist and support, nothing major, and this can actually be found in the group, thelawsofattraction.com. Excuse me, it can be found in the group, The Laws of Attraction, right here on Facebook. My mind's actually on my website today. So that being said, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's a glorious day here in Las Vegas. It is absolutely glorious. And yeah, so what I wanted to share with you today is you need to, and I really do say this and mean this, you actually need to start a process or create a space, a place and space where you can begin your process of consciously manifesting what you want for your life. Now, for a variety of reasons, we don't do this. For a variety of reasons, we've actually not been trained to do this. We've not been taught that we can do this. But one of the radio show that I did this week with my co-host Olivia Lashley, the radio show that I did this week, it was about thoughts are things, that your thoughts become things. And of course, the book of the month for the Laws of Attraction in Action, that was actually about, it was called Thoughts Are Things by Prentice Mulford. Guys, your mind is a powerhouse, and once again, we haven't been taught how powerful our minds are, how powerful our minds can be. But our minds are really, really powerful. It's our imagination that can take what it is that we feel that we want, we see that we want, we know that we want. It can take it and it can assist and support in the process of manifesting. So today, as I said, I got my notes, and this actual worksheet you can find on the Laws of Attraction in Action, the group. You go to File and you just download it. Okay, so in order for you to start working with self, it's really important to know what you want. And one of the things that I have found in my career, professional career, is that when I speak to people, people will say, you know, Wendy, Dr. Wendy, blah, blah, blah. I just don't know what I want. There are so many things out there that are coming to me. There are so many things that I want. There are so many, it's just overwhelming sometimes to pick one thing. It's overwhelming just to pick one thing that I want. There are so many things, and what happens is I get so overwhelmed, I don't know. And that's what people say, they don't know. Well, you see, I'm a true believer. I'm a true believer that everyone knows what they want. What I believe is that people just need a little help in accessing that information. People need a little help in finding that clarity. And again, I believe that everybody knows what they want. And so to that end, what I'm going to talk about is finding that mechanism for self so that you can have this conversation with self about what it is that you want for self. We're working with the ladies at Shade Tree, and Shade Tree is a facility that is for abused, displaced women, children, and their pets. Okay, wonderful organization. And each week I talk to the ladies at Shade Tree. Each week I talk to them. And when I talk to them about what it is that they're wanting, hey Andrea, when I talk to the women about what it is that they're wanting, I would say 99.9% of the women when it comes down to it, they say that they don't know. Of course, there's basic things that they want. They want to be out of shade tree, you know, they want to be in good relationships, yada, yada, yada. But when it comes down to the basics, they say they don't know. So to that end, one of the things that I am talking to you about today is simply this. You need a place to start creating what it is that you want for your life. You need a place. It's not anybody else's place. You need a place. It's your life. It's all about you and your life and your choices. So you need a place where you can actually go inside a self and start creating what it is that you want. And this place needs to be a rock solid place. It needs to be rock solid so that you can, or it allows you to build a foundation upon which you can build that which you say that you want for your life. So let's flip the script on what we're talking about today, which is all about flipping the script. Let's flip the script on the question, what do you want for you? What do you want for your life? Let's flip the script. You may say you don't know, and that's that's your answer, and this is where you come from. So my thing is, you always start where you're at. Start where you're at. That's where you start. You start where you're at. So you say you don't know. Okay, that's great. That's an answer. That's a start point. That's a start point. So you see, we're going to flip the script on this, because when you flip the script on this, when you say you don't know what you want, by default, that will tell you what you do want. So let me just break it down this way. I don't want a broken down car. Okay? Tell me what you don't want. Tell me what you don't want. And by default, you're telling me what you do want. Okay? I don't want a broken down car. Well, what you are saying in essence there is, I want a car that works. I don't want to be broke. What you've just said is that you want to have money. I don't want to be tired of being tired anymore, which tells me that you want more energy. You see, once you have flipped the script on what you don't want, it will tell you what you do want. So knowing what you don't want actually isn't an issue. Knowing what you don't want can help you. And this is what I mean by flipping your internal dialogue to assist and support you in staying focused. So you know what you don't want. You don't want this, you don't want that, you don't want the other. By default, it will tell you what you do want. I don't want a broken down car. You want a car that works. But understand that you have just given the very basics, the very minimal. You've given a stepping stone, or you've given a brick upon which you can build. So the name of the game now is to find a bit more clarity on what it is that you want. Okay, so you want a car that works. Okay, it works. What do you want it to look like? You know, do you want the body to have all these holes in it? I mean, do you want the door to be falling off? The car will still run. So it comes down now to finding greater clarity in what it is that you want for you. And that is paramount. You see, you have to begin the process of digging deeper to achieve that clarity. And once you've achieved that clarity, I say you've got to marry yourself to it. And by marrying yourself to it, what that means is you need to engage your emotional self to it. So guys, this is what you're going to need. And as I said, this paper, you can download it from the Laws of Attraction in Action, the group, the little worksheet, you can download it. But anyway, this is what you're going to need, guys, to work this process. It's really simple. This is what you're going to need. First of all, you're going to need time, and you need to eke out a little time for self. Maybe about 10, 15 minutes. I'd say nothing more than 30 minutes, unless you choose to do longer. But nothing more than 30 minutes. And 30 minutes can actually be a long time, okay? You're going to need a pen and a piece of paper, blank sheet of paper or paper with lines, and then you're going to need to divide it into two. The first column will be what you don't want, and the second column will be the default of that, or the antithesis of that. It'll be how you flip it. Okay, so the first column will be what you don't want. The second column will be the antithesis, the default of what you've said that you don't want. Okay, right. So you begin the process. You begin your process in column 1. Write down all the things that you can think of that are bothering you that you don't want in your life. You know, I don't want to be financially strapped. I don't want to have a car that doesn't work. I don't want to live in a crummy apartment. I don't want to live in a house that needs to be fixed up. I don't want all the things that you don't want. You know, I don't want to be with a broke man or broke woman. I don't want to have ill health. All the things that you don't want. You know, I don't want to have to spend my life punching a time clock. All the things that you don't want. I don't want to be afraid of, you know, what's coming next. All the things that you don't want, that you truly don't want. Write it. Just write it in that column, in the first column. Then you go to the second column. You know, I don't want to be ill. The default, the antithesis is, I want good health. And then you work your way down your list. You work your way all down the list. And once you've worked your way down the list, then the work starts. Because now you've got to dig deeper. Now you have to marry yourself through your emotional self, through your feelings. Now you have to marry yourself to it so it can start formulating, so you can build that foundation upon which to work from. So, of course, the first question, as I said, you're going to ask yourself what you don't want. And by default, it will tell you what you do. Once you have the default, you can start the process. What does it look like for me to have good health? What does that look like? What will you look like if you have good health? Or what does it look like for me to have a car that works? You know, or a house that I really want to live in. And once you get that visual of what it looks like for you, then you ask yourself, what does it feel like? What will it feel like for you to have the kind of health that you want to have the kind of wealth that you want to have? What will it really feel like to you? And then what does it sound like? You know, the car that you want, when you get in it, what does it sound like? The house that you want, the home that you want, what does it sound like? What does it sound like to you? And people will say to me, well, you know, I want financial security. Does it have a sound? Everything has a sound. So go into your imagination and tell me, what does it sound like? What does money sound like to you? Lots of money sound like to you? What does money and security sound like to you? Go inside and dig deep. And once you've done the sound, go to taste. What does money taste like to you? What does success taste like to you? What does good health taste like to you? You know, when I tried to do this yesterday, as I said, it was going in and out. I don't know what was going on. I updated my phone, y'all, and perhaps I shouldn't have done that. But since I've done that, I've had problems with going live. But that being said, I said two things yesterday, which two things are true. Everything tastes like good quality Belgian chocolate. Woohoo! You know, I'm always suspicious of people who don't like chocolate. Sorry, y'all, it's true. Chocolate and mashed potatoes. How can you not like chocolate and mashed potatoes? But anyway, chocolate. That being said, I do know that when there are things that I am doing, take for instance some of the degrees I've done, some of the actual business transactions I've done, entrepreneurial things, I get this taste in my mouth. Now, I cannot define the taste, but I do know, for me, that is the taste of success. I do know that. In addition to, everything tastes like good Belgian chocolate. You want to be my friend? go to Trader Joe's and get me some good Belgian chocolate, or get some good Belgian chocolate. Me and you would be like that. You'd be my ace. So what does it taste like? What does good health taste like to you? What does having a car that runs, what does wealth taste like to you? Guys, you have to marry what you are wanting. You have to marry your emotions to it. Otherwise, it'll just be a moving thought that goes across your mind. And after taste, what does it smell like? What does it smell like? For those of you who know me, many things have a smell for me, like sandalwood and definitely rose. Those are the two smells. Those are the two smells that tell me of success. Those are the two smells that tell me about health, that tell me about wealth. You see, you need to engage all your senses in what it is that you want. And once all your senses have been engaged, you then can move into the process of believing. You then, because it's real. Your senses are all in it. Your senses, it's real. Nobody's telling you. You see, guys, I can tell you what it feels like, what it tastes like, what it smells like, what it sounds like, what it looks like for me to eat, I don't know, an apple, a pink lady apple. I can tell you about the crunch and the juice and the taste and the this. But until you have actually eaten or bitten into a pink lady apple, I can tell you all I want to tell you. Until you've done it, then you know it for yourself. And this is where I'm going with flipping the script on your internal dialogue. One of the things that it's really important to understand is that you don't always have control over what comes up in your mind. You don't always have control over what comes up in your mind. But you do have conscious control. You do have conscious control over how you respond. You do have conscious, oh, sorry about that, guys. You do have conscious control. You do have conscious control in how you respond. And how you respond is all about how or what it is that you are wanting. Later, babes. What it is that you are wanting. So knowing what you want, marry, and I call it marrying yourself to it, because you really do. You need to be adhered to it. You see, where you start and how you feel and how you think, how you feel, what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it tastes like, where that ends, you shouldn't be able to know where that starts and where that begins. You just need to be the feeling of what you want. So that being said, guys, try this exercise with what you don't want. It's just as powerful as what you do want. It's what you do with the information. So try this exercise, guys. Figure out what you don't want, and that's usually way easier for people than what they do want. Figure out what you don't want. Know what you don't want. Write it down, and by default, I don't want to be broke anymore. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. By default, it will tell you that be the feeling of what you want. Great. Yeah, you do. Yeah, hi, Michelle. You really do need that. You really do need to be the feeling of what you want, because if you don't know what it feels like, how are you gonna get it? So, guys, anyway, make sure you do this. You write down what you don't want. The automatic default will tell you what you do. Dig deeper by attaching your emotions to it. Emotionalize it, if that's even a word. And if it's not, what I love about this world that we live in, I can make words up. But put your emotions to it. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like to you? To you. So, guys, I hope that will be helpful. Michelle, I will actually contact you either later or tomorrow. I'm still waiting to hear. So I'll contact you either later or tomorrow. Outside of that, ladies, gents, everybody who listened in, thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, the simple worksheet outlining what I've just said can be found at the Laws of Attraction in Action, the Facebook group. there's a page in a group. So outside of that, guys, I'm Dr. Wendy Dearborn. Until next time, peace. Bye, y'all.